introduction. My understanding of French is much better than my spoken French, so I understood an awful lot of what was just being said there, and I think you've given my presentation for me in advance, and we'll be talking about a lot of the things which you mentioned there. So thank you very much for doing, for having this conference. Thank you very much for the work you're doing in the entire continent, and as you may have mentioned, we have actually partnered with you in various different aspects of what you're doing, in terms of Epic Mega Grants and in terms of academic partnership, and we're very pleased to actually have this kind of initiative happening. With that having been said, I'd like to jump in and hopefully share some images and some slides. Hopefully they're working for you. My name, as we've heard, is Mark Flanagan. I work with Epic Games. I've worked across an awful lot of other industries in the past, but currently what I'm doing is working as the education partner manager for Epic across the whole Europe, Middle East, and Africa region. Come on, next slide. There we go. Sometimes my slides are a bit slow when I'm online. Now, who is Epic Games? You've probably heard of us. We were founded 29 years ago by Tim Sweeney in his parents' house. So we've grown from very small micro industry to being a very, very large industry with 35 offices globally, more than 2,100 employees now, and 50 international awards, including we just received our second Emmy today, or yesterday in the States. I'm not sure, it depends which coast you're on. So the Emmy was for The Mandalorian. But we have offices around the world and we are constantly expanding. We want to be able to help people develop not just games, but different creative endeavors across the entire globe. We're certainly expanding more into southern regions. We've recently done some stuff not on the map with South America, and we do hope to be more involved in the African continent in the near future. You have probably almost certainly heard of Fortnite, unless you've not been looking at any games recently. Fortnite is a game that we make using our technology, and we've done this traditionally. We've actually used our technology to make our own games so that our technology we know works. We don't just make the tools, we make things with the tools. So we know that what we're doing is going to work for everybody else when they're developing. Fortnite was an unexpected success. We thought it was good, but we didn't realize it would be as successful. Quite often this happens in the games industry. You make things that you believe are good, and for some reason, it just happens to be at the right time, and it happens to engage with more people, and it grows exponentially very, very quickly. So the numbers for it are, these are the latest published numbers, 12.3 million concurrent users at one time. Obviously, we don't have them all in the same server at the same time because of the gameplay. 350 million accounts and 3.2 billion hours played. That was April 2020 figures. We have frequent updates. One of the ways in which we keep this game fresh is by having a new release of it with new content, with new ideas. For instance, we have things like the island floods, or we bring in vehicles that you can drive around, or there's a crossover with Marvel or with Star Wars. And more recently as well, we've started to do events within this. So Fortnite is not just a game. Fortnite is a place. That's what we look at it as. It's a place where you can go with your friends and enjoy yourselves. The in-game events have been huge. The most recent one, which we had on the main Fortnite island, was for Travis Scott. At one time, we had 27 million users in the actual island watching, but over the entire day for the 5 shows, we had 45.8 million people visiting. And on Twitch and YouTube, which are also ways in which you can enjoy this if you don't want to start up your game engine, you can watch live on Twitch. We had 2.5 million concurrent viewers also. The point of this is we actually believe the future of games is to become more than games. We're looking to move towards a thing which we refer to as the Metaverse. If you've seen Ready Player One, that's where we're headed for. So that's why we do an awful lot of what we do. And that's where we believe the whole internet and the whole interactive world will be going in the near future. In fact, the in-game event is actually driven massive for Travis Scott, is indicative of the way in which things have changed. Previously, you used to have radio plays, you used to have people just sharing word of mouth. These days, getting something into Fortnite is almost a guaranteed success for you. And we have lots more artists lined up. So much so that we actually have a party island that you can go to now. We don't have to run around shooting people or running away from people shooting at you. You can go there and you can hang out and listen to DJs and music events every weekend. You can watch movies. You can do all kinds of other fun things like just driving around in leisure boats or just hanging out with friends. So what does Epic do? Well, Epic is the overall company that runs various different sections. The biggest part of it, the core of what we do, is the Unreal Engine, which has been around for quite a while. It's 21, 22 years old. But apart from that, we have a publishing arm, which actually makes games. We have an Epic store, which sells games online. And we have our licensing department for the Unreal Engine, which license the engine to non-games people. Amongst them would be architects, automotive, media and entertainment, etc. And obviously the games people. The games people are our core developers and the people that we work most for. Our engine is designed for games people, but it works brilliantly for so many other disciplines. And across those, we have many of the disciplines I've worked in. I've worked in architecture, I've worked in games and film and TV, a little bit in automotive. But these are all the industries which we now give our tools to, because apart from games, the engine is free to everybody else. Games, once you earn past $1 million, you start paying 5%. Or if you're a big studio and want to negotiate a different contract, we can do that for you. But for the general developer who starts working at home and wants to start selling the games, when you start selling more than $1 million, we'll ask for 5% to pay for the cost of developing the tools which you've been using. Everybody else, whether it's film, whether it's working for Industrial Light and Magic and Disney on The Mandalorian, or whether it's somebody just making an architectural presentation for their own house, all of that is free, no matter what scale. This is just showing our latest reel that we did for the Unreal Fest, which is an event we used to have in real life, but this year we had online. And this demonstrates some of the different industries and some of the different techniques that we've done. So this was a reel which was made with the help of our team in London and also a company called The Mill, who are one of the best 3D advertising agencies in the world. I'll just run this for you. And hopefully we have sound. Are we hearing sound? Excellent.
Creativity lies in all of us. It's what makes us human. It starts with an idea, the desire to create, to solve, to play, to share, to interact. Together we can build new worlds. The freedom to create for all.
And not just demonstrating the different industries, but also obviously the capabilities of the tool, because that was made using the Unreal Engine. These are some of the companies that we actually worked with in terms of, here we've got, say, the likes of Puma, Al Jazeera, Double Negative, Blue Zoo, Boeing, Airbus. These are some of the large manufacturing companies, Mercedes-Benz and Ferrari. Just digging through these, let me just see what we got here that's interesting. Well, I've got Ferrari in there twice, well, why not? Volvo, Deloitte. We work with a lot. This is a lot of architects, for instance, Foster and Zaha Hadid architects. We work with them. So we work with a lot of different major companies around the world, but also we care an awful lot about individual licensees. We have 11 million licensees around the world, most of whom are free licensees, but they still get a huge degree of support from us. Again, this is just a little snippet of some of the different types of industries. So this is the sort of media and entertainment. If you wanted to make episodic content, or you wanted to make animation, architectural visualization, this is the work of our clients. This is not our work. So we're immensely proud of what people do using our tools. So we absolutely feel that learning games, learning these kind of technologies is not just beneficial to you if you want to make games, it's also beneficial to you across a range of industries. And we're finding people from major car manufacturers, major architects who are recruiting game developers because they have phenomenal skills and they can actually contribute. The philosophy behind our company is very much we want to be democratizing technology. We want to have an open ecosystem, but we want to have things connected. We want to be able to work with other people within that. We are a company which was formed from creators. So we are creators ourselves, and we make our tools for creators. That really helps us to understand what's going on. We believe that to best understand how somebody needs to do something, do it yourself. And then you'll actually have a feeling for what they need. The other thing which is absolutely true about our company is we only succeed when you succeed. So we make sure that you succeed. We get a small percentage of what other people make in their business because we make great tools for them. If we don't make great tools and they don't make money, then we don't make anything either. And our bar that we aim for is really, really high quality, and we aim for fidelity to the real world. Not that that's the only thing you can do using our tools, but if you can achieve reality, then it's easier to dial it back and have more stylized results. And as I said, free for all creators. If you start making a profit from games, then you'll start paying a small percentage. Another thing which we have, which again is beneficial to educators and developers across the world, is the Epic Mega Grants. Because Fortnite was so stunningly successful, Tim Sweeney decided to put aside 100 million. I know I've struggled with that many zeros myself, to actually give in grants to developers, to educators, to tool makers around the world. And we still have 58 million of that left. This was actually started 2.5 years ago now. So they're still worthwhile applying for mega grants. And if you just search for mega grants, you'll find it. Otherwise, I will send some links to some of these things afterwards. I'm going to skip through this. Skipping through this because I'm aware of our time. The metaverse, this is the idea, again, sort of Ready Player One, where the end point of all these technologies we think will be, the metaverse. 20 years ago, people didn't think the internet would be what it is today. We think in another 10, 20 years' time, the metaverse will be where everything is. Film and television has been a great driver for us in terms of quality. Our chief technology is which was actually my previous job to Epic Games as well. So The Mandalorian is one of the things which a lot of people will have heard of. I just realized the new episode of The Mandalorian is out today, so that's what I'll be doing later this evening. So The Mandalorian, we use a lot of these LED screens in the background here, and people are filmed live on the set. It is a revolution in the production of television. We're seeing studios like this being built globally, and it's something which I believe in the continent of Africa as well could be a phenomenal boon to film production, because I think film production will certainly move into Africa very shortly. Just skip through some of these. These are some of the films which we've been used in. You may not realize that we've been across films for so long. So this is since 2016, 120 film projects. For live events and broadcast, when we used to have live events, the biggest event which we had 2 years ago was Childish Gambino. We had the largest inflatable dome tent in the world, and we were running live visuals, which was basically being run like a DJ, but in time to Childish Gambino's music, which was awesome. Architecture and engineering is a huge global industry. Everybody is building all the time. One of the things which people can find work in, and lucrative work, I've done it myself, is in architectural visualization. So if you have the skills in Unreal, absolutely they're transferable. Automotive and transportation, almost every automotive company in the world is using our technology for various things, partly for visualization, but a lot of the time for sales tools. The example of this would be, I have never bought a car from a showroom, trust me. But if you went into a car showroom and said, I want to buy an Audi, they make some money from the base model, but then you would want different colors, different types of leather, different types of wheels, different types of trim. And the configuration of these days mostly handled by the Unreal Engine for these automotive companies. And that's where they make a lot of the profit. In design and manufacturing and training and simulation, again, for situations where it's too dangerous to actually train people. A lot of fire services, a lot of emergency situations can be handled in virtual reality using the engine. Advertising and marketing are always huge leaders in terms of pushing forward creativity. Advertising has to be creative to catch our attention, and they've been very, very quick to actually jump on the real-time uses of the Unreal Engine. So this is just a little bit of an overview of the engine, that these are many of the aspects which we can do. They all link in together. So we have photorealistic rendering, built-in collaboration. You can work with colleagues spread around, which has been making a huge difference to people during these times of COVID. We have animation and particles and programming, VR, AR, all these things in the same package. The other thing which is important to say is we actually have an open platform, which means we actually let you have access to the source code. You can go to GitHub and you can get the source code. It's not something which we hide away. And this means that you can rewrite sections of it, and you can even say, I've rewritten this, I think it's better, or I think this is a cool thing. And we actually, with your permission, we can actually load it into what other people use as well, if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. But being able to change your source code makes a difference to a lot of people. And again, we can output to all these different ways: still images, TV output, virtual production, which I just mentioned there, the LED type screens, interactive experiences, things like theme parks are using it a lot these days, and your games and everything else which we mentioned. The basis of Unreal is C++, which we still feel is one of the most powerful programming languages, but you don't have to be a programmer to use Unreal. Blueprints are a nodal-based visual scripting method, which means even artists like myself, our designers, our other people who are reasonably technically competent but don't necessarily have all the skills of a programmer, can build a game or an interactive experience. So we feel that's really important, again, for democratizing these kind of tools. And to be able to develop efficiently across platforms, it used to be the way that you used to have to build separately for each different platform. But Unreal Engine, you can basically build it once and you can publish to all the different platforms. Now, we do recommend that you optimize for them, but the idea of building your level once and then having that as the basis for everything else, and having sets which you can actually set up yourself, which will automatically publish to your different dev kits, is phenomenal in terms of development time. And again, the pipeline, how information flows in and how information flows out, is hugely important to everybody. It is a large time-consuming aspect of development, making sure that your information coming in is correct and making sure your information going out is correct. we have developed technologies to help with that also. I'm going to now mention the future of Unreal, and I think we're probably, how are we doing for time? We're probably on time, but I'll just show you this and we'll leave you with the future of Unreal, which is Unreal Engine 5, which will be coming next year. And we're all hugely excited by this. This, we think, is going to change the industry again. So we're dealing with billions of polygons with real-time global illumination, which means all the light reflects in real time. This is running on a PS5. That, I think, is about 5 million polygons, that statue. Each of those statues is 5 million polygons. All no levels of detail.
Nice bugs. It might be.
So this will be next year, but our advice to people is if you want to learn Unreal Engine 5, learn Unreal Engine 4. The technologies, they follow on from each other. It's not going to be something which is entirely different. We do aim to make things as coherent as possible across all of our releases. I think I can leave it there. There's a few more bits I could discuss, but I think we've covered what's most important. And I think it'd be great for you to get, if you have any questions, feel free.
Thank you, Mark, for your amazing presentation.
I didn't really make it. The people who make all the things with our tools made most of it.
Okay, and thank you